Hello and welcome to my channel. Today is a little bit overdue, but we are doing a book wrap up. Finally, for the first time in 2 months, because I didn't do one last month because I only read 2 books. So I thought that would be too short of a video. So I decided to lump in last month with this month and do April and May together. Before we get started, I just want to point out I've been sick the past couple of days, which is like the 8th time this year that I've been sick. I normally never get sick, but going through paramedic school, having so much stress on my life, it's making me sick all the time. I'm sick again. So don't mind my voice and my stuffiness, but let's try to do this. The first book that we will be going over is The Leaving. This is my stack of books of everything that I read the last 2 months. So, first book is The Leaving. I got my laptop over here telling me all my stats. I finished The Leaving on April 1st, so 2 months ago today. This book was a reread. I think I said before in my 26 for 2026 that this book was a reread. I loved this book, and I read this book before I started tracking my books. And I knew I loved this book, but I didn't remember anything that happened in this book, so I thought I would just reread it. So it's finally on my tracker. Gave this book 4.75 stars. Now, this book is so close to perfect. What's cool about this book, let me find a page. Like, the way that it's, like, structured, the formatting is different, because, like, you can, as they're talking, like, you can see these dashes, they mean something in the book, it says in the beginning, but, like, it's formatted in a way that, like, you get to understand how Scarlett, one of the main characters, one of the POVs, feels from, like, as she talks. You get to kind of take a look into her brain. You get 3 POVs in this book. It is Scarlett, what's the guy? Avery, and Lucas. Should probably talk about what this book's about. This book is about 6 kindergartners who get taken, and 11 years later, 5 of them come back, and they don't know what happened to the last one, and they also don't know what happened over the last 11 years. So this book is following Scarlett and Lucas, who were 2 of the kindergartners that came back, and they're trying to figure out what happened to them, and Avery is the sister to the boy who never returned, and she's trying to figure out what happened to her brother. This book is very, not sad, I mean, it's sad toward the end, but it's like a mystery book, and it's very great. I love this book so much. The only thing that I would say that I didn't like about it is that, like, when you find out, like, when they solve the mystery, it's a little bit rushed. And if you drag out most of the book and all the details and everything from the beginning, you can do the same with the reveal. It doesn't have to be so rushed, it doesn't have to be so, like, instantaneous. That's the only flaw about this book. Other than that, I think it's amazing. I think it's perfect, almost perfect. But this book I recommend to so many people. I love this book so much. It is The Leaving by Tara Altebrando. I don't know if I'm saying her name right or not, but this book is great. The next book is Shatter Me. This is the first book in the Shatter Me series, and I finished this on April 26th. It took me 20 days to read it, so I have been listening to almost all of my books this year. Surprisingly, these first 2 books, I read cover to cover. So I've been trying to physically read more of my books and recently. And so these are 2 of them that I physically read. Some of these books I will, like, start off by physically reading, and then I will go into, like, audiobook of it, or I will start off on an audiobook and go to read it a little bit and be like, no, it's better in audiobook, or I'll just audiobook the entire time. But I'm I'm trying to physically read more because I want to pick up my reading speed. So that's kind of why I only finished 2 books in April. Also because you'll see the next book that I was listening to. It's a thick one. I rated this book 4 stars. I have had this on my shelf since the 3rd book came out. I have this 1st, 2nd, and 3rd book when they came out as a box series together when the 3rd book came out. So I've had these on my shelf for a while. I've just never read them, and I loved them a lot. So if you don't know what this book is about, this is about a... what's her name? It's been a month and a half since I've read this, so... Juliet. This is a book about a, I believe she's 17-year-old girl named Juliet. And she has a secret power where if she touches someone, then they die. So she was locked up in this prison so that she can never touch anyone and hurt anyone ever again. This is a dystopian book. I don't know when this one came out. A long time ago, like 10 years ago. 15 years ago. I don't know why I said 13. 2011 is when it came out. I can't do math apparently, even though math is my best subject. 15 years ago. But I loved this. I will definitely be continuing the series. This is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. Yeah, 4 stars. There's not much to say on it. I liked it a lot. The only thing that I didn't really like was the moving from scene to scene kind of felt a little clunky. But other than that, the description was great. You can actually or I could make a really vivid picture in my mind of what the scene looked like, what she looks like and everything. Sorry if you can't make pictures in your mind, then you can't enjoy that aspect of this book. But she does such a great visualization in her books, in her book. I haven't read anything else by her yet, but it was great. I loved it. I will definitely be continuing the series. Like I said, I have the first 3 books. I don't have any of the novellas, but I will be continuing this. This was very good. That finished it off for April. Now on to May. My first book I finished on May 1st. I listened to this one, and it was House of Sky and Breath. This is the 2nd book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. This was my favorite book in this series. These Crescent City books are thick. They are each at least 800 pages. They're in the 800 page realm. I'm not a huge fan of Crescent City. It's not my favorite series. Out of Sarah J. Maas, this ranks 3 out of her 3 series. Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, Crescent City. And we all know Throne of Glass is my top tier series because I talk about that all the time. But Crescent City ranks 3 out of the 3 series. Sky and Breath ranks number 1 out of the Crescent City 3 books, though. I would say Sky and Breath, Earth and Blood, and then Flame and Shadow. This book was great. I love Elizabeth Evans. She is the one who voices the audiobooks for Throne of Glass, Crescent City, and the 10-year anniversary recordings for ACOTAR. I love her. She's kind of the reason why I kept going with this series, because if she wasn't the one voicing these audiobooks, I probably wouldn't have finished, if I'm being honest. I gave this book 4.5 stars. Yeah, there's not really much to say about this book. I don't really remember most of it. I don't really remember most of what happened in each book in the whole series, because there's just so much that happened. This series is so long for being only 3 books, so everything blends together because so much happens in each book. I go off of what I said about the book right after I read it. Other than that, I don't really remember anything else. But 4.5 stars. I remember this is my favorite book in the series. That's all I can really tell you. Next book, Ward D. This was another book that I read cover to cover. This is the first thriller I've ever read, and the first Freida McFadden book I've ever read. I finished this book on May 4th. It took me like 5 days to read. It's also really short. It's like 300 pages. So this was very good. I liked it. I rated it. Never mind. I know why. 3.75 stars. The first half of the book, nothing happened. I liked it, but I liked the second half of the book. Nothing happened in the first half of the book. I don't know how to feel about it. It was good writing. I liked her writing. There's a reason why I got a second book. As far as, like, anything else goes, it's just, there wasn't much substance in the first half. And I'm pretty sure I talked about this already. I don't remember what video I talked about it in. Like, I kind of saw things coming. I know for a fact I've talked about this book a lot, so I'm not really gonna talk a whole lot about it. I'll link down below the video that I talked about this in. But Ward D, 3.75 stars. The next book was the first book that I read in our TBR Chooses My Books for the Month video. This is the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. I loved this book. I loved it so much. I talked about this book in that video, so again, I'm not really going to talk a whole lot about it in this video, but I rated this book 4.75 stars. It was almost perfect. Almost perfect. I just wanted a little bit more in the epilogue. And I know the epilogues are meant to be short, but I just wanted like a page or two more, if that. A few more paragraphs. That's all. But this book was perfect. I loved it. It was amazing. Where she wanted you to be mad at someone, you got mad at someone. Where she wanted you to love someone, you loved them. It was great. I loved it very much. We are on a roll with romances. This is only the third romance I've read this year, but all three have been great. 4.75 stars. We're rolling through these. We're almost done because I've already talked about most of these books. Each one of my Crescent City books looks different. Like, the first one is hardcover, the second one is the regular, and then this one is a special edition. I don't really care if they look the same or not. I just care that I have them. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the last book in the Crescent City series. This book. I rated 2.75 stars. This book dragged on. It was 840 pages, about 200 pages longer than it should have been. So much happened where it should have been a lot less, and not a lot happened when it should have been a lot more. I wanted to put this book down so many times, but because I just wanted to be able to say I read every Sarah J. Maas book, I finished it out. And I don't know if I'm happy that I did. Because just this book, I don't know. I wanted more out of it than it gave me, and I was a little disappointed. But the first book made me confused, the second book made me excited, and the third book made me disappointed. There's not much to say without giving spoilers, so I'm not really going to say a whole lot. But it's just scenes that I wanted to drag on, and I wanted to get a lot more information from, abruptly ended. And scenes that dragged on, that I didn't need that much information, that was completely unnecessary, that didn't need to happen, stayed in. Like, I don't get it, but I'm not gonna harp too much on it because I don't like bashing books. I read it, I got through this series. Each book was 800 pages, and I'm hearing that there's gonna be a fourth one, and of course I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna listen to it actually, because I'm not gonna sit in here and read this book. I have finished the Maasverse. Kind of left a sour taste in my mouth seeing that this was the book that I ended the Maasverse on, but luckily we're still going. We got ACOTAR 6 and 7 coming out this year. We got the last Crescent City book coming out whenever it comes out, but we're still rolling. We're still chugging on. And the last book that we have from May. I almost forgot what month we were in. If you watched my TBR Jar Chooses My Books for the Month for Me video, you would know that I went off script for this, like I do on most of my videos. Inspiration struck. and I was inspired to read this book, Assistant to the Villain. If you don't know, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Hannah Nicole Mehrer? I'm gonna say Mehrer, because her Instagram is Hannah Nicole May. So, Hannah Nicole Mehrer started off by having this idea of Assistant to the Villain years ago. And so she started making these videos as she's writing this book on her Instagram and like acting out Evie, the assistant, and the villain in these like short form videos of like stuff going on throughout the day and putting them out. People loved it. She wrote the book, Assistant to the Villain. It came out and everyone loved it. I've been following her since then and I just never read the book. I got the book recently, like within the last year. And I followed her for a long time, but I've just never read the book for some reason. And now that I've read this book, I am infatuated with this book. I love this book. This book is 5 stars, maybe even 6. But I love this book. She's perfect. She made me laugh. She made me cry. She made me smile. Mwah! She's perfect. This is I want to say, 4th 5-star book that I found this year. 4 5 stars in 5 months. That's not too bad. She's perfect. She's everything I wanted and more. She was worth the wait. And I'm kind of glad that I waited because the 4th book is coming out this year in August, which means I get to just binge these books. So, but Assistant to the Villain, it was incredible. I loved it very, very much. I don't know why I never read it, but I watched a video of someone reading this on YouTube, and they said that it was amazing and they loved it and they gave it a great rating. And I'm like, you know what? I have this book. I'm not reading anything right now. Actually, I totally was. But I wasn't really reading the book. I didn't really care about it. You can go watch my video. I'll link that one down below too, but it's not the time for that book. But yeah, I'm like, I'll read it. Picked it up, fell in love. I read it in like 5 days, 6 days. We all know I'm a slow reader. I don't read very fast. So reading a book in 5-6 days is fast for me because on average it takes me about 2 weeks to read a book. This is another book that I read cover to cover. This book I started reading and then I was so interested in it, I needed to listen to it. I stayed up till 4 a.m. reading this book. On a day off, I stayed up till 4 a.m. That shows how much I love this book. That is it. If you have read any of these books that I've talked about, let me know. And if you liked this video, let me know. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.